All right. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining our second installment of our monthly training session. In this session, we will aim to highlight some existing features that you may or may not already be aware of, while also highlighting some new features that have been recently released to help you and your team get the most out of Yojee. So for today, we'll be covering three topics. These topics are driver surveys, which allows your drivers allows you to create and set surveys for your drivers to complete. We will also be covering the driver task list view. So this is the setting. This is setting and enabling your drivers to view tasks in different ways depending on your operation and preference. And the final topic will be the driver app scan to action, which is allowing your drivers to utilize the camera on their device to scan barcodes or labels, and allow them to efficiently manage their tasks. So before we get started, I'm just going to run through a couple of housekeeping points. First one is that this session is being recorded. You'll be sent a copy of this after this session, and feel free to share it with your colleagues if you need to pass the word around. Next point is if you have any if you have any comments or reactions, please feel free to use the Zoom chat. We welcome any feedback, and we love to hear from you and hear what you like and dislike, so what ways we can improve. And finally, we will have time at the end of this session for some Q&A or for some questions. So if you have any questions throughout this training, feel free to add it to the Zoom Q&A section. And then I will try to go through it at the end. However, if we do run out of time, I will make sure that we follow up via email afterwards. All right. Okay, well, once again, thank you, and let's get started then. So as mentioned, the first topic we're going to look at is driver surveys. So just to get started, just to give an intro, driver surveys can be used to require a driver to complete a set of predefined questions. So these questions could be compliance related, such as vehicle audits. So asking a driver to confirm the condition of a vehicle at the beginning of their day. Or it could be task related. So you could have a survey which asks the driver to confirm the condition of a package that they are delivering. So just to give you an idea, as you can see on the screen, we have typical the driver app, but at the bottom you'll see survey available, tap to complete. This means that this driver has a daily survey activated, and before they can start their day or complete any tasks, they will need to complete this survey. To complete this survey, it's very simple. All they need to do is simply select on and tap to complete. In this instance, they'll be asked to confirm which vehicle they're driving if there's multiple vehicles, and they'll be asked to complete the remaining questions. And it's as simple as that. The driver survey has now been completed, and the driver can continue on with their day. So to enable a driver survey, simply head over to, in the top right-hand corner, click on your profile name, and then select Manage. Under the driver section, you'll find driver survey at the bottom. And as you can see, I've got a couple of surveys I've previously created in this profile. And this survey is the daily vehicle check that we just completed on the driver app. So to create a new survey, all you have to do is select on Add Survey. You give the survey a name. So for this one, we're going to call it Delivery Condition Survey. You also have the choice to have this survey as either a daily survey or a per task survey. So I just showed you what a daily survey is. So it's a survey that would appear once every 24 hours, generally in the morning, that the driver would complete before they start their shift. A per task survey is what I'm going to create now. And this survey will appear every time I every time the driver completes a task. So I'll demonstrate that afterwards, but once I've created it, you can also ask the driver to confirm which vehicle they're driving. In this case, I'm not interested, but if you did want to turn that on, you can simply toggle this to the on position. And then we get to start creating our questions. I want this one to be a quick and short survey. So here's the All right, so I've got my two questions here. Is the package free from damage, and is any other feedback? These questions can either be free text, which means it will open up a text box for the driver to write in, or it will be a yes/no question, so they can select yes or no. So for this first one, I'm going to make it a yes/no, so the driver will have to say yes, it is free from damage, or no, it is damaged. And in any other feedback will be a free text option. So that means the driver can essentially write in the text box. And the final thing you need to check is this active check at the end. And this will ensure that this specific question will be active. You can choose to toggle these off if there's a question you only ask during certain periods of the day or times of the year. But for most cases, any question you want live, you just select active. And any you don't want live, you just uncheck. By default, there's 5 questions, but you can also add additional survey items. So simply just click on the add survey item, and you can add additional questions that way. All right, so that's being created. Now, once you're ready, you can save this survey. It's going to ask you if you want to set this as the active survey. Currently, you can only have one survey active at a time. So this would disengage my daily survey, which we went through earlier, and engage this per task survey. So I'm going to say yes, activate. You'll see my new survey here, and it's now in the active position. And what I can do is demonstrate that on the driver app. So I have my task here. I want to pick it up. Bear with me. Let me just refresh the driver app quickly. About that. Here we go. So pick up. The first thing that will come up is the driver survey. This is my yes/no question. So the package is free from damage. I can also add an optional comment, and I'll just say there's no other feedback. And then, as per normal, I can continue my my pickup task. And there it is, my complete survey. So as these survey responses are collected, they are stored within the dispatcher. So to look at your survey responses, you simply you click on your reports, and you'll notice there's a new tab here, which is called driver survey, and this is where your driver survey responses will always be collected. So let me just refresh this quickly. And there we go. So sorry, go. Driver survey. So by default, it's going to show you the active survey that's been completed. You'll see all your question responses answered here, along with the GPS location and any other confirmed information. You can also look at previously active surveys, and you can set what period you want to look at the survey. So I'm just looking at today's surveys, but if you want to look at last week's surveys or a specific day of the week, you can do that also. You may also want your survey to be emailed, survey responses to be emailed on a regular basis, and you can simply set up a scheduled report. So simply click on generate report, email when done, add the recipient names, add a message subject, and select the frequency of how often you want this to be sent. So I want this to be sent on a daily basis, say every weekday at 6 at the end of the day. And this survey will then be generated on a daily basis, Monday to Friday. All right, so that's driver surveys. But feel free to leave any questions you might have in the Zoom Q&A, as mentioned earlier. Next up, we're going to look at the task list view. So I bring back my driver app. So the driver has different ways of viewing orders depending on how, the driver app has different ways of showing orders depending on how the operation is run. And currently it's quite easy to change the viewing order by navigating to your profile icon in the top right-hand corner, clicking on settings, and selecting the task list by. And there are three options. The first one's commit date. So this is used for operations where orders may be assigned in advance and have strict delivery windows. So in this case, it only shows orders for the date. It shows orders on the date that they are to be actioned. So in this case, for today, I have this final stop, which is due today between the hours of 12 and 1 o'clock. However, if I want to look at days in the past or in the future, all I need to do is select the calendar icon in the top left. And any day with a red or grey dot will show, will say there's tasks uncompleted. So if I want to look on Tuesday, I can see any uncompleted tasks for Tuesday, or I can turn back today. The next option is to view tasks by assigned date. And this is viewing tasks by the date they were assigned to you by your dispatcher. So by default, it will show you today's date. So this will show you all tasks that were assigned to you today. So as you'll see, we've got the tasks that I showed you earlier. And you also have this task for the 6th of December, so that's tomorrow. But this was assigned to me today. And then I can also choose to, bear with me, my screen just crashed again. I can also look at past orders that were signed on past dates by selecting the past date option as well. And this will show you the date they were assigned. Some technical difficulties here, I'm very sorry. The date they were assigned and what tasks were still outstanding. And the final option is viewing task list by all assigned tasks. Really sorry, this is unusual for this to happen. So all assigned tasks shows all tasks that have been assigned to this driver. All previous tasks will be in the list. And if you look at future tasks, you simply have to just select the show future tasks, and this will show all tasks that have been assigned to this driver. So that's how the driver would demonstrate, would change this view. But you as the dispatcher can also assign how you would like your driver to see the driver app. So if you navigate into your profile section again and manage, under the driver tab, click on driver workflow. And if you scroll down to configuration, you'll see you'll have default task list here. And you can select whichever you prefer. So I want my drivers to see all the tasks that have been assigned to me on that specific date. And there we go. So whenever a new driver opens the driver app, they will see tasks with that specific driver window. Sorry, with that specific view. Again, any questions, just feel free to leave them in our in the Zoom Q&A. All right, so the final topic we're going to look at is our scan to assign. So let me just open our driver up again. Hopefully it stops playing up with me. All right, so scan to assign allows the driver to utilize the camera on their phone, which is essentially to scan the QR codes on labels and action their orders accordingly. So to access the scan option, simply click on the scan icon, which is at the bottom center of the driver app. This will open up the camera. And then as a driver scans an item, you'll see one item scanned here, tap to view. And this brings up any tasks related to that specific item. So this item hasn't been assigned to any driver just as yet. So I can assign this item, I can assign this item to myself. I can assign it and complete the first pickup task, or I can assign it and complete the drop-off task. So in this scenario, I'd assume I'd be a driver who'll be packing my truck. So at the time, I might scan this, assign and complete the pickup. So as you'll see, it'll ask me to complete my my driver survey. And then continue with the normal pickup task flow. And you will also see that the task will be added to my task list as well. No, so the drop-off task will be added to my task list. If an order's already been assigned, you can scan the label barcode as well. And so in this scenario, the driver might have picked up the parcel, might have arrived at their destination and they found their parcel. They just want to find the order in the driver app. All they need to do is simply scan the barcode, and it will show you what tasks are outstanding for that specific item, and they can choose to either pick up complete the pickup or the drop off. So in this case, I'll just complete the drop off, and this will also complete the pickup task. And finally, I'll also demonstrate the scan to assign can also scan multiple barcodes. So if I've got more than one package I'm dealing with, I can scan each of the barcodes, and you'll see them tallied at the top here. And I'll see I've got two scanned items. I can select to view, and it will show me each of these items. So all the task cards related to this item. And once again, I can choose to either assign them to myself or assign them and complete a pickup. So in this case, I'll just assign them to myself. And there you have it. All the tasks have now been assigned to myself. And that's how you scan to action. So hopefully I didn't go through that too quickly, because I know I've got a bit of time left. But if you have any questions on anything I've just gone through, feel free to add them to the Q&A. Otherwise, I have some. Otherwise, let me just see what questions have come through. One moment. All right, I've got one question here. So, can you have different frequencies for the surveys instead of daily? So currently, the driver surveys, we only have the option of having per task or daily surveys. However, we want to hear from you. So if you have different preferences on the frequency of surveys, say if it's a weekly survey or only a specific task survey, please let us know by emailing us at support@yojee.com, and we can go into um, more detail, and we can obviously discuss and see how we can implement that for yourselves. Another question I can see. So a question about if the driver's offline when completing a survey on the device. Um, and yeah, so what will happen if a driver is offline? They can still complete the survey. And then once the survey answers will be stored on their device, and once they reconnect to a Wi-Fi network or a data network, the survey responses will then be uploaded to the up to Yojee, and you'll be able to access it via the reports. Another question here about the barcodes. Whether okay, so can you use? Do you have to use Yojee barcodes, or can you create your own? So barcodes, you do have an option. So the as long as either the customer order number or the order ID is contained within the barcode, it will you can essentially use your own barcode to find the jobs for the driver. However, if you want to get a full list of the specific barcodes you can use, feel free to email us, and we will obviously give you the specific information you need for that. All right, so there are all the questions I have. So I'm just going to quickly summarize what we've gone through today. And again, if you've got any more questions, feel free to message us at support@yojee.com. So the three main questions, three areas we looked at were driver surveys. So creating driver surveys, setting a daily setting a daily survey or a per task survey, and viewing the survey responses. We also looked at driver task list view, so how the driver can change to a preferred view, and predefining the driver task list view in dispatcher for your future drivers. And we also looked at scan to action, so how you scan, how you assign orders to yourself, how you find orders, and how you action multiple orders. Oh, I've just seen a new question arrive as well. Is there a function to restrict drivers to complete one task before proceeding with another delivery? No, there isn't. This is somewhat deliberate because we don't want to create challenges for your drivers should they miss an initial task. But what will happen is if your driver does miss, say, the pickup task, they can still complete the drop-off task. And at the same time, the pickup task will be completed as they complete the drop-off task. But feel free to, again, email us if you want further detail in that. I'm happy to discuss it further with you. All right. I think that's all we have for today. But thank you again, everyone, for joining this call. Appreciate your time. And as mentioned, any further questions or feedback, feel free to send it through to us at support@yojee.com. Thanks again, everyone.